Howdy, hey, it's Rai. You were expecting someone else, weren't you? Haha, I stole that entire intro from Ginger Ninja, oh whoa. Woo. Anyways, today, it's gonna be a completely different video from normal videos you've seen on my channel before. By the way, I'm sorry for not posting for over a year now. I know how annoying that is. Oops, that was a big oops on my part. Anyways, today I'm going to be redrawing yandere simulator characters as like a premise where if, let's say, Alex came up to me, the creator of yandere simulator, and said, you need to reimagine these / redesign these, can you do that for me? And I basically said sure, and this is what I crapped out. So here we go. This is a very different type of video, a very unusual video, how I used to do this. This is unscripted, by the way, so I'm trying not to ramble. I'm trying to keep myself on track, but I'm the type of person to start rambling, so I'm sorry about that if I start to ramble. Anyways, okay. I would like to preface this video by saying that these are just my designs, these are my opinions, this is nowhere near like the definitive, this is how you should draw it. No, it's just something I don't know, it's just, it's something in my personal opinion, like what I would do if I were to design these characters. If I were to take these characters and make them my own. This is basically it. I'm not saying that these are the best, these are amazing, the art's not amazing, clearly. This is not meant as a disrespect to the original artist. This is just more of a, hey, these are a couple notes that I think could be changed, but you don't have to change them. This is strictly my opinion. I respect yours type of deal. So with that, here we go. I plan on making this actually into a series where I take all of the rivals and I redesign them, except the 2 adult ones. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the 2 adult ones. They're very much kinda, I don't know if I'm going to do them, or I don't know if I'm going to redesign their entire character. I'm very much on the fence about that, because personally, they're adults, and I can't. Also, I'm going to be calling Senpai Taro in this video. I do not feel comfortable calling him Senpai at all because it's the incorrect use of the word, so I'm just going to be calling him by his real name, which is Taro. Okay, I think that's it. So, let's get into the redesigns. First up, we have Osana. Osana. I have very mixed feelings about Osana. Mainly that she's just very, very warm. And the only blue that comes from her is her outfit. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just, I feel like it's just too warm. You know, there's not a lot of breaking up with it. So, the first thing I did while designing her is I knew I wanted her eyes to be blue. Now, I know a lot of other creators have done this before. This is not original at all. So, links in the description of other people who've done this before, because while I was making these, I was watching other videos to make sure I wasn't stealing anything. Turns out a lot of people did Osana, and a lot of people turned her eyes blue. I'm just here to say, I know that's not original at all, but yeah, credit to where credit is due. A second thing I changed about her is I chopped her hair off. So as you can see in the original version, her hair's down to, I believe, her kneecaps. It's like really super unnecessarily long. So I changed it to the point where she's not sitting on her ass. Well, her ass, when she sits down, her hair is not touching her ass. Or when she puts her hair down, because keep in mind, because they're in twin tails, they're going to be longer when she takes her hair down. So it's almost to her like feet almost. I just kind of chopped it so it wouldn't, like shit wouldn't be getting into it when she put it down. So I chopped it to around her waist area. Another thing I did with Osana is I said I don't want her to have an unnatural hair color. So I took her hair color, I dimmed it down, and I also made it her a natural ginger because of that. I don't know. I just wanted a natural ginger because I really like putting freckles on my characters. If you can't tell, I love freckles. I love adding skin details like that. And if I'm able to add skin details like that, I will jump at any opportunity to do so. So my personal theory about my version of Osana is that she's half white, half Japanese. So yeah. Another massive change I made to Osana, if you cannot tell from the speed paint, is I got rid of her scrunchies, I got rid of the original outfit, I got rid of her tights. I basically just put her in different clothing. There's many reasons why I did this. Number one, I feel the scrunchies matched with the socks or the stockings or whatever you want to call them were so goddamn tacky. I could not stand them. Like, when I first saw her design, I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago, I was just like, wow, she looks really tacky, along with all the other girls. I hate that. So I fixed that, my own personal aggression towards that, and made them match her skirt like a normal Japanese uniform. Oh, speaking of Japanese uniforms, I actually gave her a high school one. I personally don't even like the sailor one, but finding out that the sailor one through my research is actually a middle school uniform, it blew my mind. Now, I'm just gonna say this now. I know sometimes people use the sailor one in high school, but that's a very, 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 very rare. So, yeah, the sailor one is mainly used in elementary and middle school, and I found that super weird, so I just found a pretty nice looking high school one and rolled with it, and so here we are. I also lengthened her skirt down to her knees because that's how skirts are normally in Japan. I also made her shoes brown because I felt like black was just like a little too much there, and I think that's all the changes I did. I didn't really add a lot to her besides that. Yeah, and that's all I did. Now, I'm sorry about the speed paint. I believe it cut off around the time when I was starting to make Osana's background. So yeah, here's the final product. I hope you like it. And now we're going on to Amai. Amai is one of the very few rivals I actually really had a problem with. I loved Amai's design. I loved her color palette. I loved her color scheme. I just loved her. She was like a sweetie pie. She is a sweetie pie because she runs the cooking club. She's a little pie. She's so sweet. I love Amai. So yeah, I didn't change that much with Amai, except of course her uniform and stuff like that. Basically what I also want to do with Amai is I want to make her look very, very different from Osana, because I feel like the models, number one, the models can't really do that in game, and number two, I just felt like they kind of looked a little similar, because of course, anime usually kind of does that. It's something, it does happen in anime, but personally, I just wanted to make them look different. Like, these are clearly two different characters, so I did my best on that front. I hope it translated well. Because I wanted Amai to have a softer jawline, a more rounder face. I want to have her a little bit more meat on her bones. I struggle with body types, so I hope you can tell that I was trying to do that. Another thing that I did with Amai is I tried my absolute best to give her a different outfit from Osana. I just didn't want to add an apron to her, is basically what I'm doing. I wanted her to have a very sweet, a very like soft looking vibe. So what I did with her is I added a sweater onto her of her outfit, because in Japan, some schools at least, not all of them, have a dress code where they will allow overwear, like sweaters and jackets and stuff like that, that aren't a part of the dress code. And that's what I wanted to do for Amai. So yeah, Amai has a sweater now that has her signature like stripe pattern instead of on her socks. I wanted to give her just the regular uniform socks because I felt like giving the girls like very tacky like socks. Like, sure, it differentiated them, it just was so tacky and unnecessary. what I also did with Amai is I changed her basket to a different basket. I don't know, I just hated the old one. I also added a little bit more goodies to her basket before. In case you can't notice, I changed her desserts around. Her desserts are now a Japanese style jelly squishy cheesecake, if you've ever seen those. I also changed it so if you cannot tell, she has a little jar of star gummies to reference Japan star gummy candy. If you don't know what those are, have you ever played Animal Crossing? Because those are the shooting stars that fall down. The shooting star gummy candies are in reference to those. Finally, I added a Japanese dish I've never heard before. It's called a doroki? A doroki? Here's the word on screen. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me. Basically, what it is it's 2 pancakes in between a filling, and it's a Japanese dessert. So I added that because I feel like it would be very easy to package, and it was something that was bakeable or something. I thought that felt Amai's personality. Amai? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to talk about. Oh, real quick during the speed paint, because Amai took me the longest. She actually took me like almost 4 hours and a half to do. So during Amai's speed paint, I'm going to talk about Osana a little bit, because I already said what I wanted to say about Amai. So Osana's personality, I would change around a lot from her original. I would basically not make her a tsundere, or just like not as much, because personally I don't really like tsunderes, but I don't like the idea of hitting my crush for love or like acting rude for them. Personally, I think Taro and Asami would have like a very loving friendship where it would be, they both joke around each other, they would both make fun of each other, but it's in a very like playful, like, hey, you're dumb, no, you're dumb, pussy kind of way. I don't know. That's something I would imagine too. Also, you might not have seen from the initial drawing, I put a bracelet on Osana. It's like a very sentimental gift that she got from Taro. I think that would be very cute that she never really took it off. So yeah, that's what I would completely change about Osana. I'm just not really a fan of tsunderes. But that's just my opinion. If you like tsunderes, that's fine. That's completely fine. Also, if you can't tell by my little notes I made across the screen, I put Short Queen next to Amai. Amai, personally, I believe that she would be shorter than everyone else, because soft girl. If Yandere Simulator, if it ever could have heights, I believe Amai would be the shortest rival next to Taro's sister. Oh, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the sister rival again. I don't know if I'm going to change her backstory or even include her at all. But yeah, I would imagine Amai would be one of the shortest ones out of all of them. I also changed around the little arm brace on the club members. I made it so there were multiples of the logo because I feel like, I don't know, I just felt like that would be a little bit more practical because then you can see it at all angles instead of just front facing. I think that's all I had to say about really Amai. There's not a lot I would change about Amai. Amai's my favorite. I love Amai. She's the sweetie heart. She's the mom friend. I have a feeling that she would bring that jar of gummy candies around everywhere. I just love Amai. She's adorable. I have the least amount to say about Amai. I just really had fun drawing her. And I tried to make her as different as possible as I could from the original, but like I didn't want to completely change her design, of course, because I still wanted her to be recognizable. But yeah, I just love Amai. So here's the final product. I hope you enjoy it. She's baby, Amai's baby. Took me the longest, about 4 hours. I love Amai though, so it was worth it. Finally, we have Kizana. I'm gonna call her Kizana. I don't really know how to pronounce her name. I'm so sorry about that. Anyways, we're moving on to Kizana. I don't like Kizana's design. This is like one of the first ones throughout the series that I will say I actively dislike this one. This one is one of my least favorites, besides the adult ones. I absolutely like, it's just, every single time I see it, I just roll my eyes because it's just so tacky in my very much opinion. So the first thing I did with Kizana is I thought the twin tails had to go. The twin tails, personally, for what I imagined her character to be, didn't make any sense. But I didn't know what to replace it with. So I just kind of drew her hair in. Then I came up with this like very interesting like bang design, and I just kind of went with it from there. So I gave her a very elegant bun using her signature roses as to keep it up. I also gave her very blunt hair, so it's like obviously it's very cut in like on her sides. You can tell based on her like the hair, what do you call that, the hair that goes down like in front of her ears. Also her bangs, you can tell it's very bluntly cut. I wanted to do that on purpose to show that she'd styled that on purpose. Also I gave her, on the sketch, I tried to show that she had a lot of makeup on. Personally, I think she would be the type of person to have a shit ton of makeup on. She would be like, it would be very heavy, it would be very elegant. Personally, I think she would come from a very rich family that kind of acts like a little royal. So what I wanted to do with that is have skin that was very like doll-like and very like perfect, not imperfect, perfect. And because she would like have all this great products from her mom or something like that. Personally, I would think the mom would be the rich one in the family. And yeah. Another thing, I kept her choker. I originally kept her, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep the choker, but eventually I was just like, yeah, I'm keeping the choker. I had very mixed feelings about the choker, but I'm just like, no, that's very iconic. She has to have it. Can you not tell I'm trying to avoid saying her name? But yeah, she has to have that choker. Another thing I did too with her overall body shot is I gave her a more dynamic pose than the other two. I think that's very on brand for her. She'd be very out in the open because she's obviously running the drama club. Of course she's gonna be out there. And very elegant and very dramatic. Another thing I did that was different from the other two is I gave her the winter version of her uniform. If you didn't know, in Japan there are two versions of the uniform. There's a summer version, which I drew the other two girls in, and then there's a fall-winter version, which is the one I drew Kizana in. Kizana, the difference between the two summer and winter uniforms is one has a blazer and one doesn't. So yeah, I drew her in a blazer because I personally feel it would make her feel more elegant. Another thing I did that was very different from... Another thing I did is I changed so that the blazer color wouldn't be the same color as the skirt and the socks. I feel like that would just clash a lot, so I just changed it so it would be not as like the same color. So I just mixed it up and threw tan in there. So yeah. I also gave her, I also tried to draw on makeup for her, like eyeshadow and blush and stuff like that, just so it's more emphasized that she probably takes like 20 minutes to, no, not 20 minutes, like 4 hours to do her look. I have a feeling that she would take like 2 hours max on her hair or something like that. I think that's all the changes I really made to her. I changed her uniform, I changed her hair, and that's what I did. I think that's all I did, really. I also added, if you can't tell, I added a slight gradient from the top of her bun, just to change it up a little. So yeah, I also, I probably should mention, I did darken her hair. I felt like the bright purple was very tacky, and kind of reminded me of Kokona, which, by the way, I think Kokona should stay in the game and be a tutorial rival, per se. So Osana's the first one, but the true first one is Kokona, and she would act as your tutorial. Basically, your entire introduction to the game. Basically, the entire time you're trying to kill her, the game holds your hand, and then when you get to Osana, the grip on the hand loosens a bit. So yeah, that's my personal what like it should be done with Coconut, but I don't think that's gonna happen either. But I did also want Coconut and Kizana to look like siblings, so yeah, I did that best in that front. I also changed, I have no idea what Kizana's original eye color was. I can't tell from my reference that I got. I probably should have researched that more. I frankly, at this point, was getting tired and didn't care, so I made her eyes golden because I thought it would both complement and clash with her hair really well, and I feel like that's very on brand of her to have very striking eyes. And I think that's all I changed. Besides, yeah, that's all I changed. So here's the final product for Kizana. I hope you really like it. It's something I'm actually very proud of, so I hope you like it. Kizana is actually probably my favorite design. So here's all three of them together. Here's what I would imagine their heights would be. Personally, here's all their heights. I hope you enjoy this video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to say. If you want to see these pictures in better quality, go to my Instagram, but they're most likely going to be a better quality on Twitter because Instagram loves to do the thing where it just fucking where it fucking blurs out the picture. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is very different, but if you like this, then I will definitely make a part 2 to this video. So anyways, I hope you all have a good one. Make sure you wash your hands and keep 6 feet apart, because then if you don't,